Let's start the week right, and you know there's no better place to be than right here on Numbers Don't Lie, powered by Sofascore. I'm your boy JayDee Dyer, and there's so much to take you through in regards the footballing world. I mean, we could talk about Liverpool and how excellent they've been. Their return to Real Madrid, and Trent, of course, returning there. The WTF stat of the week, but more importantly, let's focus on the eye test versus Sofascore and the best summer signings for the summer so far. And if I'm going to talk about the summer signings, I need to bring in an encyclopedia who studies every ounce of football that's out there. My boy Nico Cantor.
Too much,
Nico,
man. I appreciate it.
I have to give the people a call to action first, because some of this is going to be very controversial. I'm going to let you know that now. But Nico, take me away, because now we've had a nice body of work. Take me through your top 5 signings so far.
All right, absolutely. We're going to start with Hugo Ekitike. I was thinking of throwing Nick Voltumare in there, but I actually think Hugo Ekitike has been better for Liverpool from the very outset, right? Here he is, $110 million going from Frankfurt to Liverpool. Community Shield, he's actually been a consistent light for Liverpool despite a lot of inconsistencies. And we're going to dive deep into this and understand why Hugo Ekitike has been the best. He has 6 goals on the season. His minutes per goal is the first for Liverpool. His goal contributions, 24% for a new guy, understanding his new team. Liverpool, it might feel like a crisis moment, but they're not that far off. They're right there in the mix. Let's compare him to the big money signing.
British transfer records.
Absolutely, and that's Alexander Isak, and 6 goals to 1. Minutes per goal, much more often. Hugo Ekitike is getting involved. Obviously, Alexander Isak hasn't played that much. The big chance conversion, you expect Hugo Ekitike to be taking his opportunities. Sofascore rating, we'd like to improve a little bit for both if you're a Liverpool fan, but this comes to show you why Ekitike has been so important for Liverpool.
Are you questioning the Alexander Isak signing now at all? Just looking at sort of the way that Ekitike especially has hit the ground running.
I'm not questioning it. I'm questioning how they can play together and how they can strike a good partnership long-term together. Plus, you have more guys in the mix. I would say, if I had to rank them, Cody Gakpo's actually been even better than Alexander Isak. So I wonder how it all fits together. Obviously, a big rotated squad. Let's go to number 4. And this is key, right? It's Luka Modrić to Milan, but for free.
Free of charge. Free of charge. You can't buy experience.
$0, nothing, right? He has been so critical for Milan. Milan look absolutely different with him on the pitch. And you take a look at this. Total passes, but where are those passes? In the opposition's half. He ranks first in Serie A for that. Touches, second in touches. He makes Milan tick, and they're near the top of the table because this guy is balling out. It's been absolutely incredible to watch him at his age not skip a beat and insert himself into the Serie A competition seamlessly.
Do you remember when they called him the flop signing, or they said he was going to be the flop signing of the
who
season?
said that?
Back in 2011, 2012.
All those people
way
back when we're talking about.
They never knew he was going to age like fine wine. I like your list so far. Keep going, Nico.
All right, let's go to number 3. And this is important, because Martin Zubimendi, I feel like it's one of those midfielders that perhaps if you're just watching the game with a macro perspective, you don't see this guy doing all the work. He's good with the ball at his feet. He's good in the air. He's giving Arsenal a fresh of breath there in the midfield to allow others to do their thing. And look at this. He has 2 goals. He's not a big goal scorer, but he's got 2 goals. And total minutes played, he's playing a lot, but those aerial duels are very important. He's winning 70% of his aerial duels.
How is that possible?
At best 5'11", JD.
It's a stretch to say 5'11" as well. You know, athletes be adding those extra inches.
I mean, listen, let's compare him to a guy that was playing in a similar position, right? Not exactly the same, but Thomas Partey, 88% passing accuracy. Zubimendi, a little bit better. But when you compare him with all Premier League players, his passing, he's doing the most passing from anybody that's not a center back. Obviously, center backs are going to be on the ball, but this guy is too. It's pretty incredible. And he's got the long ball game too, the aerial duels, much more than Thomas Partey, actually. So almost like a little bit more well-rounded than a guy who is playing in that lower portion of the midfield. But this guy's not only defensive mid, he can move up. He's very, very complete, and I really like him.
I love him. I love his adjustment to the Premier League as well. This right here shocks me, though, because if you look to the 2 players, you would say that he's definitely the smaller of the 2, but clearly got a big heart to back it up, which goes into the, set piece FC, as they say about Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Hey, set pieces are a part of the game.
Massive part.
All right, number 2 is a guy that left the Premier League. and went to Bayern
Lucho.
and fit in really, really well. People were questioning Luis Díaz, the age, the time of the career to go to Bayern, highly competitive in that portion of the field, but he's hit the ground running too. 13 goal contributions. Yeah, 1 goal or an assist, more than 90 minutes, but you got to consider how much they've been rotating, and Harry Kane is in a category of his own. Possessions won per game. First place, he's working off the ball. When Luis Díaz is starting, you know he's going to give you absolutely everything. 7.4 Sofascore rating. Now, I want to consider how he's done with other Bayern players on that left wing, because it is a competitive position at Bayern. And at Bayern, you got to be the best. He's actually contributing more goals or assists at a higher rate than Serge Gnabry. Look at his goal contributions, 23.1%. All right, forget about Serge Gnabry. Let's go on to the next player, Kingsley Coman. Let's see how that compares to the Frenchman's stats. It's actually better. Look at that goal contribution percentage. Goals and assists are coming more often. So what is the highest standard at Bayern? To the likes of the legends.
Of course.
Let's see how he stacks up against Franck Ribéry, an entire career at Bayern. Arguably the best left winger they've ever had. These are the numbers you have to try to hit. Obviously, Luis Díaz has better numbers because the sample size is so small. But imagine Franck Ribéry for his entire career at Bayern put up the numbers that Luis Díaz is putting up just right now in 3 months. That's how good this guy was for his entire career.
That double R, the Ribéry and Robben connection, will go down as one of the best double acts all time in football. But I'm interested, Nico, who's number 1? This is going to take me away.
Yeah, I think it will, because it's a guy that perhaps not a lot of us know about. Joaquín Panichelli. How did he squeeze in from there? Listen, Alaves to Strasbourg. And if you're asking me who's the best summer signing right now, it's the leading goal scorer of Ligue 1. We didn't even know who this guy is. So you look at your ROI. This guy went from 0 to absolute hero. 9 goals in Ligue 1, 96.4 minutes per goal. Big chances. He's ranked up there. He is getting the ball. He is scoring goals. He is creating opportunities, and nobody knew who he was before. Credit to Strasbourg for finding these guys. Obviously, it's not only the Chelsea pipeline. They're finding guys elsewhere, like at Deportivo Alaves. He didn't even play in Argentina. Joaquín Panichelli, he was in the reserve team of River and then went to Europe. Usually it's like, all right, Manchester City will pick out the best player from the River Academy in Claudio Echeverri. Or Real Madrid will go out and see Franco Mastantuono from the River Academy and say, hey, we'll take you. No. This guy went elsewhere. He didn't go to a big team. He found his way around, and now he's having the moment of his career at Strasbourg.
I like this. This is the call to action. I need to know, just immediately in the comments, what do you feel about Nico's list? 1 through 5, especially with Joaquín now top of this list. I love the fact that you've gone detail, by the way. This is amazing. But the whole point of this, we were going to do eye test versus Sofascore. So this is where we can make the comparison with, of course, you know, our team that powers everything in terms of the stats behind us. So Nico, looking at how the two teams weigh up in terms of the Sofascore over here, and of course, I like the Bocata.
Hey.
You know what time it is. Tell me how you feel about the comparison from the summer signings.
First of all, it shows how objective I am that I'm a Boca fan and I gave a former River Academy player number 1 position. Okay, you know what? There's 2 goalkeepers on here, Joan Garcia and Berke Özer. They've had big moments. Joan Garcia's been injured for the last I don't know how many games. And Berke Özer, yes, absolutely epic in that triple save.
We were there.
Yes, I get it. In the Europa League for Lille against Roma. Okay, but was I really going to choose a goalkeeper? I like my names. All right, all credit to Joan Garcia, all credit to Berke Özer. Dean Huijsen being on that list, pretty incredible, because he's had a couple of shaky moments, but without a doubt, I understand why Luka Modrić for Sofascore is number 1, because he has been lights out.
Well, Nico, if you're going to be the beacon of positivity, then I've got to obviously be a little bit objective, right? And I know everyone's going to be asking the questions, well, what about the worst summer signings? And this is the point where we need to start, I would say, pulling the curtain back on some of the transfers that haven't quite worked out as of yet. And number one that immediately comes to mind, he's fifth on my list, is Jonathan David. And I'm going to give him a bly just genuinely because he was free of charge. I want everybody to take a deep breath, because if I watched his Ghent career, his first European club, and of course his Lille career, it took him a little while to get involved in terms of competitive goals. But the return on investment, as we talk about all the time, is always going to be high. So you're not going to get criticised that much. But Spalletti, if you can't work under Spalletti, I'm starting to ask some question marks around the other strikers as well. Okay, we can go to number 4. And this is one where people are telling me I'm being a little bit harsh. I know, because this is my fellow countryman, I should really back him a little bit more. But it's only because I want to see so much more from Liam Delap. In terms of the physicality, the presence, we saw what he did in an Ipswich shirt last year in the Premier League. This is really the breakout move. And he hasn't really had either the fitness, the consistency, and more importantly, discipline to stay on the pitch and showcase what he can do.
Well, against Wolverhampton in the Carabao Cup, he
7 minutes.
The lapse in concentration.
7 minutes.
If you're out for 2 months, you best not be elbowing a guy in the head.
7 minutes.
Yeah, not great.
We've had the question mark over Chelsea's discipline already this year, and unfortunately the biggest spotlight has to be on Liam Delap. I want to go to number 3 because really and truly we could have a lot of Liverpool players on this list, but this guy right here on the left-hand side, Kerkez, I feel has the biggest question mark around him, because if you're going to take a place of someone like Andy Robinson, you need to come in and be the real deal from day one. You need to show tactical discipline. You need to show understanding. And I've seen the question marks and the quotations that's been around Europe this week. Oh yes, the shirt is looking very heavy on him. Only because at Bournemouth, you can do what you like. You can get away with those lapses in concentration. You can get away with in terms of tactical ill discipline. In a Liverpool shirt, you're being found out, especially when the whole team is on a slump. Unfortunately, your side is looking like it's the weak link in that back 4.
All right, talk to me about Xavi Simons.
This is the one that I feel has gone underneath the radar, and I need people to really pay attention. Not because we're members of the media and when we spotlight something, all of a sudden it becomes hyperbole, but because I'm genuinely concerned. People have questioned the attitude. Is he still sulking because his primary move was to go to Chelsea and it didn't quite work out? Well, Xavi Simons needs to wake up, because to get subbed on early in a game against like the London derby and then get subbed off is a massive question mark as to whether or not your manager trusts you. And we can all circle the most important thing: no goals and no assists. Now the problem is, in his Leipzig career, we already seen in terms of, look at his Sofascore rankings, look at his ratings, especially around May towards the end of the season. 7.87, that shows me that you know in terms of who you are, your fluidity, there's a trust, there's a behaviour, there's a consistency. And now start to move after you come to London, there's massive question marks, Nico.
My thing is that there is a James Maddison-sized hole on this Spurs team when it comes to creativity, that spark. Who's going to set up your goal scorers? Who's going to be giving you goals? And this kind of looks like that James Maddison-sized hole, and he hasn't been able to replicate that. And if it's not him, it's really no other guys, plus their lack of goal-scoring number 9s, not Johnson, not Richarlison, Solanke's been injured, Colomwani ain't it. Offensively, they need to get going, and we thought Xavi Simons could have been that guy. So far, he hasn't shown it.
Definitely hasn't shown it. It's not as if they're missing a striker who's arguably the best striker in world football right now.
Correct.
Don't worry about that. And fundamentally, number 1, more importantly than any other we know, we're going to have the question marks because the price tag speaks for itself, and Florian Wirtz has a massive target on his back. But rightfully so, because 0 goals and 0 assists at this point in terms of productivity is not good enough. I like this picture, by the way. They grabbed me from the boxing. Look at the side on. I see this.
You're giving Wirtz a heavy side eye there.
I'm giving question marks into the list because I want to know in terms of overall, when you weigh it up against the eye test that we've done from our side to the Sofascore rankings, what do you see? What's your biggest takeaway, Nico?
Yeah, Lorenzo Luca for Napoli hasn't been good. Obviously, there's competition. Højlund has looked good, actually, in the time that he has had playing at the 9, filling in for Romelu Lukaku is not easy, but Jonathan David is striking. You had it at 5, I understand why he's at 2. Liam Delap, I think both Sofascore and you guys did him a little bit harsh because he hasn't played that much.
But what's their best ability?
That's
availability,
yeah.
Right? And if you're not available for us to turn around and judge you, I can only judge you on the fee that's there.
He got lucky. That suspension against Wolves was only a 1-game suspension. It very easily could have been 3.
Very lucky. But more importantly, the question mark is to you. Do you feel like we got it right in terms of both the summer signings that have been fantastic and, of course, this worst list that we have here? And if we've missed a player, let us know in the comments because we're always here for conversation, but we appreciate it every time.